Jason Whitlock.
Antifa, to me, is the modern day KKK.
Will literally.
Kobe Bryant, the most fraudulent superstar celebrity athlete we have ever seen.
Say anything.
I actually think Kanye was on point.
For attention.
Blood in, blood out. Trump in, Trump out. This is a game.
And he has burned many bridges.
While you were on Blaze TV, spewing that people. Did you tell them that? Did you tell them how you stood outside of First Take begging me to talk to you? Did you tell them that once this same article in Deadspin came out, weeks later you wrote a lengthy apology to me in an email, begging me to forgive you, pointing out how you were betrayed by this particular writer, so you know how I must feel that you betrayed me? Did you tell the folks that? Did you tell them? You fat piece of...
From Stephen A. Smith.
To see him evolve into this is such a crazy, psychotic heel turn that I think none of us ever saw coming. And even when he was at his best and he would sometimes write things that I thought were a little distasteful, they were more forgivable because we thought he was being genuine. And now seeing this complete turn into whatever this is, we know that so much of his life and his behavior was just a complete act.
To ex-ESPNer Jamil Hill.
I used Skipper's telephone number once the entire time I worked there. And it's because Jason Whitlock asked me to vouch for him. What are the odds of that? And whatever it was, 8 or 9 months later, Whitlock called me in tears because it had all fallen apart and Skipper had to fire him very, very quickly.
Dan Le Batard, Katie Nolan, and many, many others in the industry. And it's his latest take.
Angel Reese is arguably the most overrated athlete in all of sports. She is as unskilled as any player in the WNBA.
That has many not just crying foul, but shows the lack of depth to whatever he spews out of his mouth for clout. In addition, he would tweet, "She's unskilled." Then, he tried playing cleanup. But she also has a higher b-ball IQ than I gave her credit for. She knows how to play. She's a terrific competitor. Her game is to establish post position, and she works hard to get it. That type of effort will make her highly effective. Now, a fixture on ESPN for decades has been Stan Verrett, and he despises Jason Whitlock's words. Thus, he would write the following: "You have been flapping your gums about Angel Reese like a jealous teenage girl for weeks. I thought she was unskilled. Now you want to make her the focus of the defense? You're a clown. And it's Cardoso, not Cardosa. And you call yourself a journalist." Before we continue, and to be fair, here is the press conference Angel Reese was in after her team, her alma mater, LSU, got bounced out of the tournament. It's important. Let's watch.
I just try to stand strong. I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong every single time. And I just try to stand strong for my teammates because I don't want them to see me down and not be there for them. So I just want to always just know I'm still a human. All this has happened since I won the national championship, and I said the other day I haven't had peace since then. And it sucks, but I still wouldn't change. I wouldn't change anything, and I would still sit here and say I'm unapologetically me. I'm going to always leave that mark and be who I am and stand on that. And hopefully the little girls that look up to me, and hopefully I give them some type of inspiration that, hopefully it's not this hard and all the things that come at you, but keep being who you are. Keep waking up every day. Keep being motivated, staying who you are, staying 10 toes, don't back down, and just be confident.
She left herself very, very vulnerable in this moment. But Jason Whitlock would go on to tweet, "We can officially quit putting Angel Reese on Caitlin Clark's level. Stop it. One is an all-time great player. The other got famous for taunting the rivalry is dead. Clearly it is not. Do we look into the ratings that we saw this past weekend? Do we look into the ratings when they met previously this year? I'll let those numbers speak for themselves. Meanwhile, the 57-year-old who believes in the nuclear family yet has never married would go on to say this: it's like a hot girl. She rarely gets told the truth. So if you want to sit there and say, hey, I am the reason this audience is showing up too, there's going to be people like me and others that are going to say, well, I'm not really sure, because without Caitlin Clark, no one knows or cares anything about you, Angel Reese. So we see the theme here, right? We see what he's doing, yes. He has gone after black women over and over and over again because he has seen how there is a market for it. It just has to be within this subsection of society that also hate them. It is the dog whistling. It is the understanding, the mutual agreement that he will be the bigot's huckleberry. It just has to be on a certain vertical, like The Blaze, founded by Glenn Beck, who we have discussed many times over. On his Reese is the most overrated athlete in all of pro sports line, there is a Hall of Famer who vehemently disagrees with him. And it is another LSU product, NBA Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal. Quote, she's probably the greatest athlete ever to come out of LSU sports. You heard it here first, male and female, ever. Because guess what? She delivered. She delivered that package. See, a lot of us got the package, and we still got the package in our truck. She delivered that package. So, there's a lot of names you could throw around, men and women, but she's probably the greatest athlete. Quite a stamp of approval there from arguably the greatest center that we have ever seen in the history of basketball. Very much up for debate, but there is no doubt of his greatness. Stan Verrett, though, would launch another attack aimed at Jason Whitlock. In other words, I never really saw her play before I decided to attack her needlessly, because I knew it would play well with the anti-black audience I'm desperately seeking to retain some relevance after my many firings. Fix that for you. Well, the two do have a history, and we should not forget when Jason Whitlock, pre-hair fabrication, was on Fox Sports 1 when it was called Speak for Yourself, pre-Emmanuel Acho. Marcellus Wiley was there, Jim Jackson was there, and he would go on to say this of the SportsCenter anchor.
I'm going to put a name on it, because again, I had this kind of fake hate. Stan Verrett over at ESPN. Name. Constantly tweeting at me. And it's like he thinks I think, or he thinks he hates me, but clearly he's hanging on every word. He loves me.
And yet Stan Verrett would spill the tea once and for all why he has such great disdain for Jason Whitlock. I have to give you all the history about him. In 2007, I was on a point-counterpoint radio show about Don Imus calling the Rutgers women nappy-headed H-words. I wonder who they could possibly find to defend Don Imus. They found Jason Whitlock. It's been on ever since. When asked why Whitlock dodges Stan Verrett, this was his answer. He knows his level, and he knows mine, and he knows they are not the same. It could end his career. What I find rather interesting, though, from Whitlock is this.
I complained via Twitter that ESPN spent the first 6 minutes of SportsCenter showcasing 2 women's college basketball games.
He really went after women's hoops, including ESPN, for showcasing the games and then leading SportsCenter with said games because they were riveting.
ESPN's self-stated mission is serving sports fans anytime, anywhere. ESPN did not lead SportsCenter with women's college basketball as a service to sports fans. The network was servicing the feminist agenda.
And somehow he turned into ESPN is only serving feminists, when really they are serving sports fans with popular figures on popular teams at the time, which would of course lead to this.
Feminists have taken advantage of man's instinct to please women, casting themselves as long-suffering victims of male supremacy, and reshaped American society into a culture that favors the weaker gender.
So how do I feel about all of this? Bad. Very, very bad. I have seen the lengths that this man will go. After all, he put police officers brutalizing and killing a person on fatherlessness. Why? And single black mothers. Why? Because he saw what others in the right-wing ecosphere were clutching to. He saw the Larry Elders and others, Mike Johnson, another one, saying that this is an issue. So what does he do? Oh, well, they're saying it, so now I need to incorporate it some way, somehow. And he went on then Fox News host Tucker Carlson's show to spout what he did. There has been many write-ups of Jason Whitlock's conduct, how egotistical he was when he was trying to launch Black Grantland, why exactly he was fired, and why he continues being let go from each company over and over and over again. From his charades in the press box when he was covering NFL teams, all the way to this. And what could really tell you a lot is that Clay Travis, who is a deplorable figure, a former Obama voter who saw a way to enrich himself by pivoting very hard to the right, and that having a tremendous payoff because Fox bought his company. Even Clay Travis could not stand Jason Whitlock. And now he is at the Blaze, where a noted and proud racist like Glenn Beck employs him because they see eye to eye, or in Whitlock's case, for the time being.